Good evening, Fredonia. You're listening to the Local Lowdown on WCVF 88.9, The Voice, and WDVL 89.5, The Inferno. I'm Olivia, your co-host and your field interview lead.
Hey, it's Elena. I'm your other co-host, A&R lead, and executive producer.
Hi, I'm Dylan. I'm the new tech producer.
Yeah, congrats to everyone who's new, and also shout out to Charlie, who is our new promotions lead. But yes, tonight's episode is brought to you by Fredonia Radio Systems in a group effort to promote and showcase the local talent in Fredonia as well as Western New York at large. Welcome to the first episode of the semester. This is the Local Lowdown.
On this episode, we have our guest for this week, Oscars Cash.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for having us.
How's it going?
Can we start with having everybody introduce themselves?
Yeah, my name is Owen Branges. I play guitar and sing.
I'm Philip Marcello. I sing and I play the bass.
And I'm Nico Branges. I play drums.
Yeah, got some brothers.
Yep.
And
Always.
I'd be
Always
remiss
brothers.
to forget we're missing our dear friend Jake Chirpla, who plays guitar also.
Yes.
So how did you guys all form as a band?
So, Nico and me have been playing together informally like our whole lives. I played guitar forever, and he's always been a drummer, and so like that kind of came about naturally. We always wanted to do something like this. I've always been a huge music fan, and so it was kind of something I've always wanted to do. When we were in like 8th grade, I want to say maybe, Phil came around and he started playing with us. And then a couple years of that, a couple local shows at this place, Sugar City in Buffalo, where we used to do things, and nothing too serious. And then about our freshman year of school, 2021, freshman year of college, we started really getting like bigger local stuff at like Mohawk Place and Rec Room in Buffalo. All those places we were working with After Dark and Mosh Retirement, these booking agencies up there that are just awesome and do so much for the scene. And so then it kind of started being more serious. And since then, we've been doing all the same stuff. We just put out our first EP and 2 singles in the last year about. Yeah, our first single came out last summer, and we're working on new music right now. So
Yeah.
it all
Super
came
cool.
about very naturally, and we've always really enjoyed doing it.
Yeah, a lot of movement. But yes, you guys did just mention it, but you guys kind of got your start in live performances at Sugar City in Buffalo. You seemed to frequent it a lot, did a lot of different cool lineups there. What was that earlier experience like there, and how did that like form your kind of group into what it is now?
I would say it really broke us out of that shell. I mean, we were literally kids. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, 8th grade. Wow.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. I was probably like 12 years old or whatever. I didn't like, I don't know. I really think it gave us a good groundwork. I didn't know how to sing when I was like, I can sing for you guys. I didn't know how to sing. I didn't know how to be in front of people. So I think doing that as a kid, obviously in music, but I think generally some life experience, it was really good to get ourselves out there creatively. It was a lot of covers, but even creatively, your first steps at like writing music as like a child, it was really cool. And I don't know, it brought us all pretty close, and I think that's I think that's really what's kept us going this whole way, is like being so tight and being like friends first, pretty much.
Yeah.
And just that whole vibe throughout the whole time we've been a band has really been like the driving force.
Yeah, if I can add on a little bit to that, like when we were playing out there live to basically a crowd of all our friends and stuff, it was so fun. And then when we get these real bigger shows at like Mohawk and stuff like that, we were kind of in a place where we were comfortable doing live stuff and kind of just transitioned right into it. I have a Sugar City tattoo because
Oh
that
my
place is
gosh.
awesome.
Wow.
Shout out Sugar City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And unfortunately, it did close.
Yeah, they
recently.
closed in 21, I want to say, because of the pandemic. They were
Yeah.
completely nonprofit, run by volunteers.
Oh, wow.
They did this thing where you could, if you worked there and you volunteered there, I used to help set up and do sound there. If you volunteered for enough hours, you could use the space for a night, and so that's how we got it.
That is such a cool.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is awesome.
Awesome
That's
place, awesome people.
Yeah, and if I'm remembering correctly, some of your first lineups, you had played with Muddle, right?
Yeah, we go way back with Muddle. We've definitely gone in our different directions since then.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was looking at the lineup then, and I was just like, oh.
But yeah, we were kids when we were playing with Muddle, and they're doing great things in the
Yeah.
punk scene in this whole area of the country, you know.
Yeah.
And we love Muddle.
It's really cool to see all the connections and how everything comes
Yeah.
together. And
It's
yeah.
like a spider web.
Yes. The nice little
Seriously.
community in it all.
So your Spotify bio, it states that the band got together in 2018, but after a few years of sound development and member shifting, they really hunkered down in the summer of 2022, where they solidified their goals and their musical direction alike. What was the turning point for Oscars Cash to hunker down, and what inspired you all to work on your music more?
COVID.
Maybe.
Fair.
I think
Yeah.
definitely. So before that, we were all finishing up high school and applying for college and looking to take that next step. So it was a little bit tough to sort of hunker down and do an album or release anything or kind of do anything but play a couple of live shows. I think when the pandemic set in, it was kind of an opportunity to slow down a little bit and start working heavier on sort of making it into a coherent product that we were ready to put out rather than playing covers and, writing a song here or there. We sort of thought, let's write, 7, 8 songs. Let's get them good and tight. Let's release them. Let's keep playing,
Yeah.
I think that definitely gave us a little bit more, because I don't want to say freedom because it was like everyone's locked in the house, but like,
Gives you a lot of time.
what else do you do but
Yeah.
practice? You're locked in the house,
Right.
I think getting
Especially if you're locked with half the band.
Yeah.
together,
getting that first single out was
Mhm.
that was an effort. It
Yeah.
definitely took a lot of work, maybe more than it should have. But when we finally got that out, it was just the kick in the pants that we needed to really keep moving on it. And since then, we've this new EP is 4 songs, so now we have 6 songs out in just about the last year because
Yeah.
our first single came out last summer. So I think we're happy with the pace we're moving at now. Definitely have stuff planned. So
Yeah.
Can I ask what songs in particular were any of them written during the pandemic that are now like released either from that EP or the singles?
I would-
Live Flat
Lie
probably
Flat.
was.
Life Flight was big time. Like, I just moved into just moved into the dorms. It was like sort of figuring yourself out in so many ways. Is like everyone felt that way, especially like our age coming out of that pandemic era.
Right.
Like they were saying, it's lots of time to reflect on like how you want to solidify going forward, how you want to like move forward with your plans musically, creatively, whatever. So that's the big like early one. It's super. I look back at that song and you kind of reflect that
Yeah.
like weird little awkward time in your
Yeah.
life, like just moving in, like
Independence for the first time.
yeah. That one was the big out of COVID situation that we released for sure.
Yeah. Well, I was going to bring it up anyways, so let's talk about Lie Flat. That was the first single that you guys released in July of 2023. I really love it. It's very catchy, very bouncy. It's definitely something that I feel like people going to listen to you guys for the first time could get a sense of what you guys are. Was there any specific reason why you wanted Lie Flat to be that first release?
I think that was just maybe our favorite. I think we really
Really?
liked it at the time. I'll say it was probably the best song we had, our favorite song that we had written. And we recorded that and Dino, which is our second single, on the same session, the same night.
Gotcha.
And we were like, yeah, let's release Lie Flat first. And then I did some more work on Dino before it ended up going out. But
Yeah.
that was just one that we were all really happy with. I still, you get sick of your songs as a musician, but that's
Right.
a song that I still really enjoy and I love playing it.
That's awesome. Do you, since you guys are saying that you were writing it in 2021 and getting back into playing and everything like that after the pandemic, did it go through any like big transformation from it being written to eventually being recorded and released?
I don't think so. A lot of how our process goes is like someone comes with an idea. Like for Lie Flat, I came to them with an idea. Like, look at this little thing that I just wrote. But I had nothing was fleshed out. A lot of our, perhaps it's slower, but I think a lot of our sound comes from the fact that we always come together with ideas, and that sort of fleshes out in that way. Lie Flat kind of came out how it started. Like, I did the little chords by myself, and was like, this is cool. Let me, record myself playing this, show them we can do it. And we did it. Like, honestly, the first time we solidified it down is kind of where it stuck. Maybe here and there's like a vocal flare. I honestly think more of the changes have come post-release on how we play it than how it is out now, but it's pretty much structurally the same as it started.
Yeah, I will say I have heard that a couple times too. Like people, either artists are like, once it's released, I can never listen to it again, or like now that it's released, it's like, oh, I can have fun.
Yeah.
Speaking of Dino, a lot of the lyrics are super reminiscent of like older times, and I notice that a lot with your songs, even with like Peaches talking about like you buying something for somebody and you don't know if you can return it, like stuff like that. But specifically the lyrics in Dino, on days like this, I'd like to go back. What's the story behind Dino?
So we actually joke about this a lot. A lot
Perfect.
of our songs, a lot of our songs have this theme of kind of maybe like an old relationship or like nostalgia and stuff like that. And Phil and I do most of the lyrical legwork, and we've both been in very long-term relationships, like very happy long-term relationships. So it's weird that we kind of always go to writing about like a breakup or something like that. But I think it just relates with a lot of people, you know?
Yeah.
Like everyone's been there, and it's something that people can kind of, it really resonates with some people. So like in Time Machine, we're like, wish we could go back or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, everyone has something like that.
Especially because it sounds like upbeat. And then you listen to the lyrics, it's like, Hey Ya by Outkast.
Yeah.
Or it's like, oh, you listen to the lyrics and you're like, oof, dang.
Yeah, Dino also, I honestly, like, I wrote the Dino lyrics. I had, like, a theme in mind, whatever. Like, that's sort of, for lack of better terms, a bit of, like, a theme, nostalgia bomb, whatever. I don't know. That's what I was sort of feeling when I wrote it, but I also wrote it, like, at, like, a Subaru dealership. I had to, like, drop someone off and pick someone up, and, like, we had rehearsal immediately after, and I was like, dude, I do not have lyrics for this. I gotta, like, come with something. But I really honestly ended up kind of liking, I like that song because of, like, what you're saying. It is, like, it's upbeat and fast, but that sort of, you know, masks a little bit sort of what we talk about. But yeah, that is definitely, like, we come up with a lot of, like, these, like, nostalgic themes that we reminisce on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. And I did want to ask, I do love the cover art of Dino, too. I was curious to see, like, what was the story behind that, or was there any, like, specific, because for anyone who doesn't know what it looks like, it's a big collage. And was there any, like, specific, like, ooh, I needed that photo for it, I needed this thing for that, or even the color scheme, too?
Yeah, Dino was, my friend Emmanuel did that, and he's like, does photo editing and stuff like that. I kind of just reached out. I wanted to work with him on something that he had and gave him some ideas. I'm like, put a dinosaur in it, maybe, something like that. And we talked a lot throughout the process, and eventually we talked a lot about the color scheme on the whole thing, because I really liked that it was like, some of it was in the grayscale, but it was also like a lot of red and orange kind of sticking out.
Very bold.
Yeah, and
Super
there's,
warm, too.
yeah, and there's just a friend who had some cool ideas.
If I remember correctly, originally when we got the picture, it wasn't going to be the cover art for Dino necessarily, but it was something that we were planning on using for cover art for something in the future, you know? And then I think one day we realized, hey, how about Dino?
Put a dinosaur on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just slap one on.
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
Call it a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love working with our friends for like stuff like that. Like the most recent EP, Old Digs. Our friend Lauren painted that. It's a painting that she did, and it's like so cool. And we're working with her in the future for like our next couple releases. We just want to have her do stuff because it's like came out so cool.
Yeah.
We
That's
really
awesome.
I
like
love the texture on it. It looks cool.
It's really, like, on the physical thing, like, the shoelaces string that she, like, poked through, like, the canvas.
it. Yeah, it's like
It's
actual
wicked.
string
It's
on
so
the
cool.
painting.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I'll have to look back.
Really
Yeah.
cool.
Well, we have been hopping around it, so now it's time. We got to talk about the new EP, Old Digs. Came out just about a month ago from when we're recording. But yeah, it's fantastic. A 4-song EP that was recorded at GCR with Dylan Rohr, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Shout out Dylan. He used to do sound for the local lowdown a couple years back, so it's always great to talk about a team member. But yes, what was the recording process like for you guys and being at GCR and working with a friend, I imagine?
It was really cool. It was our first, like, step into, like, pretty professional realm in terms of recording. It was definitely a different process. We recorded Can't Contain in one session because it was really super first time doing that for any of us. It was definitely a different. It was a learning curve about that in that first song recording, but we felt good about it. It was cool walking out of there being like, we have an almost finished product right now.
Right.
But the next time we went in there, we did Peaches, we did Lake House. The outro of Lake House with the piano Jake did, and that was that we didn't have anything solidified for that part of the song. We had like a kind of a reverb guitar situation, and there's like this cool giant piano, and we're like, we want to use this doing something.
Yeah, it's like a giant Yamaha grand piano in the recording room.
That is
And that was
so
So we're
cool.
like,
Like,
yeah,
we should
have to
try and
use
use
it.
that.
Yeah.
It was so fun. I really liked working with Dylan. Dylan was awesome. Our friend Fu from Buffalo, who's a photographer, also came, and he took pictures and videos
Oh,
for us.
yes. Yeah.
And so it was like a blast. We were hanging out with friends, and it was such a good time. Dylan's a blast to work with, and he gets us in there for a good rate, which is awesome because normally a place like that is like totally out of the grasp
Right.
of independent musicians. But
Right. It's a beautiful place to
Yeah, it's
look at
amazing.
too. Yeah.
It is a really, really nice place.
Yeah. Were the two singles recorded somewhere else in that case?
Yeah, Lie Flat and Dino were recorded at this place called the Music Room in East Aurora, which is they do shows there, and then they have a little like recording setup. And we actually
Oh, that's
our first show ever, I think, was there.
Oh,
We were
gotcha.
very young,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
So the music room has been very good to us. We were
Definitely.
it was like September of my freshman year of high school. It was like, I'm like shaking in my boots thinking about like my first like real show.
Right.
And like 6 years later, whatever, like our first release was like through like how they do the recording there. So it was definitely like the music room over there. They've been good to us as like a
Yeah. Cool
Shout out,
full
Dave.
circle moment.
Yeah, I was about to say
Yeah.
probably a
Yeah.
little nostalgic too.
Oh, for
so
sure. Well, honestly,
works
they
out.
The theme.
they moved.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was still seen like they have like the music room banner. I get emails like 3 times a week.
yeah, I'm on their
yeah.
email list.
Yeah. Yeah.
Relentless with the email.
It's a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I also, this is like more of a personal question I always love to ask is, did you guys have an idea of like a specific sequencing of the EP? Like, did you know that you wanted it to be in that order? Was it on purpose? Anything like that?
I think that definitely came up after we recorded it. I think it was kind of, we all felt that Lake House was maybe the strongest song on the EP, I think, and we were like, let's open with that. Like, I think that's a good set to open with. And then Bore was kind of, that song's really different from a lot of the stuff we do.
Right.
And that was something we recorded most of the music at Jake's house, actually, and just kind of did the vocals at GCR. And so that was when we were like, let's kind of tuck that in the back, maybe as like a bonus track kind of thing, just because it's different from the stuff we normally do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Bore.
Yeah.
I really
that one
do.
too.
Were
That
there
one's
any
fun.
inspirations for that song?
It's a big I'm a big home shake guy. It's
Yeah.
definitely like home shake-esque. By myself, I've never really done anything like that totally, but I've always been in my head about doing like sort of soft, slow like that. Even it's definitely not our normal vibe. Even if you've seen us, if anyone's seen us play live, that's not really how we sound. It is very jumpy often, but like I like sort of like getting to diversify like that.
Yeah.
But definitely
Right.
like home shake situation.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of not Champagne Coast, Blood Orange.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I was like, I love it.
Yeah.
Love
That one was
song.
fun, and we had a lot of fun recording that too, because it was
Yeah.
just like it was at our house, and we were having fun with it.
Yeah, all the
And just-
backgrounds are so cool.
Yeah, that's a fun song. We like that one a lot.
Yeah.
I wanted to know, we talked about the cover art a little bit. When does this come up in the process of you guys recording, making songs, putting out projects?
It's every single time it's come up different.
Yeah.
We've talked about Dino. That was pretty early. Our first release, we we're stoked about it. Like, this is a song we have finished right now, and we straight up did not have cover art. Like, I was like, Owen and I were like on the porch, and I'm like scrolling through my camera roll. I'm like, what looks like something?
Yeah.
So, and then in this one, pretty early, I would say, I reached out to Lauren. She's great, but also Lauren, super scholarly, super busy. Like, she's a phenomenal artist. She's a phenomenal artist, and I know I wanted to work with her, but I had to reach out pretty early because I wanted the release process was, especially for the EP, getting like everything settled. It was different than how we did it before. We worked a lot for this release through Bughouse too. They helped us a ton with the release. So I wanted to get that covered out pretty early.
Yeah, I felt really bad. I was kind of talking to Lauren a lot when we were waiting for the art, and I think she's in nursing school or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. I see.
I was like, hey, like
Yeah.
any update? And she's like, yeah, I just have a weekend like surgery rotation, and then
Oh
I'll
my
get
God.
on it.
Oh,
Oh my
I'm
god.
like, oh my
Yikes.
God, take your time, please.
yeah, yeah. And you did just mention the Bug House. What has that experience been like for you guys? If I remember correctly, you guys were one of the earlier groups to join.
Yeah,
It's been super awesome. I think we might have been the first non-founding group to join, you know? I think it's cool to finally be a part of something like that, something bigger and a little bit more ambitious in scope.
Yeah.
yeah. St. Blind's an awesome dude. He's really cool. Dylan was the one who introduced us because
Oh, gotcha.
he was doing sound at Rec Room at the time, and he was like, hey, these guys are cool. You should get in touch with them. And then it turns out we talked more, and he like did sound for us years ago when we did something down here in Fredonia.
Oh, really?
And yeah, it's really cool. They put on a show last semester at the Creek House here, which was really fun.
Shout out
And
Creek House.
Shout out Creek
Yes.
House. And it's just cool. It's a lot of really cool artists. We get to meet a lot of really cool people through there. It's just a blast. And they handle all their distribution, which is awesome.
Oh,
It's
that's
a
nice.
cool thing to not worry about.
Yeah. And it's very cool to just see just like the Buffalo community come together in so many ways. Like just in this one interview, you've talked about all the different artists and Bug House and Dylan and even being at GCR and all the places. It's very cool to see it all come together.
Yeah, I would definitely give it all up to Buffalo. Like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like that's all I know, and that's like
Yeah.
all I'll give
Yeah.
credit for at the end of the day.
Right. So while you guys were promoting this EP, you had also mentioned that you were working with the idea of collaborating with Cornflake Car, who we actually also had on the local lowdown at one point, so shout out. But what is that whole process going to be like? If you have anything that you can share about it, or
Yeah, so Asia Cornflake Car is a really close friend of mine, and we're going to be writing some stuff together, so we're going to be collaborating on some music. But
awesome.
we were also talking about the idea of us, Oscar's Cash Boys, backing her live. And so she would
That
have,
would
a,
be
she
so
would have a
cool.
full band to play with.
That
and,
would be incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really exciting. And we booked something in Philadelphia this semester, and we booked something in Burlington, Vermont. And right now we're planning for both acts to go on those trips.
Oh, congrats. That's
That is
awesome.
really cool.
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
definitely want to work on some stuff and write some stuff with her and just get a cool set together. I think it'll be really fun.
Yeah. Have you guys already been collaborating? And if so, what has that been like?
Not so much, like we've always talked about it, because we're two musicians and we're good
Right.
friends first. So
Right.
like we've talked about it a little bit, but now it's seriously kind of turning the gears on it a little bit and really getting it rolling.
Well, that's great to hear. And as a preview for these upcoming shows that you guys have, why don't we hear you guys live for the acoustic set? Take it away.
Okay, cool. Called you on the phone, but nobody's home. I left a message on, you don't wanna talk. I don't wanna miss you like I do. I don't wanna be here feeling blue.
I don't want to go back
months are racing by, snowfall from the sky. The message wasn't heard, the feeling isn't worth. Getting over, moving on, we're through. In a season, reeling over you. I don't want to go back to the lake house. I don't want to go back to the beach. I don't want to go back to the lake house. I don't want to go back by myself. I don't want to go back to the lake house. I don't want to go back to the beach. I don't want to go back to the lake house. I don't want to go back by myself.
Killed it, dog.
Thanks, guys.
It's your solo preview.
Yeah.
I think it's Peaches.
Last night I found a box of your old records, and I wondered if you want them back. But I don't know if I can keep the ones I got for you, but I don't wanna ask. There's a voice in my head, it tells me what to do. A terrible influence tells me go right back to you. I wish you would get out, a prisoner of my mind. Worrying about you is a waste of time. In all your features, you used to leave me speechless. Horrid rocky beaches, life was never peaches. And now I sit and think how things could have been, but that's in the past. I don't know where I'm headed. And now I miss your touch, and now I miss your voice, and now I want you back. I wish I had the choice. In all your features, you used to leave me speechless. Horrid rocky beaches, life was never peaches. All your features, you used to leave me speechless. Horrid rocky beaches, life was never peaches.
Yeah. What's the next one? Can't contain.
wanted a song, so here you go. Just so you know, my love is all yours. This feeling is here and here to stay, not just for today. I don't care what they say. Memories made are made to last. We look back to the past, to now where we're at. Now I stand here and sing this song for you, just for some proof of this feeling so true. Still no words can contain my heart, and every second better than the start. And I know this is true, and I know you do too. Still no words can contain my heart. When you're gone, I just need to close my eyes. All in my mind is your hand holding mine. And this time far apart can be so rough, but yeah, we look up to our lives and that stuff. The future can be oh so unclear, but yeah, you're still here, year after year. And I'm sorry if sometimes I'm not frank. I forget what it takes, but I'll still try to say that no words can contain my heart. And every second better than the start. And I know this is true, and I know you do too. Still no words can contain my heart. Wanted to kick it, but you threw me out and locked the door. And now I'm thinking that I maybe could have thought some more. Can't you tell me why you treat me like I'm such a bore? Can't you tell me why you treat me like I'm such a bore? Can't you tell me? Don't always down to just play along. No longer feeling so strong. Can't you tell me why you treat me like I'm such a bore? Can't you tell me why you treat me like I'm such a bore? Can't you tell me why you treat me like I'm such a bore? Can't you tell me why you treat me like I'm such a bore? Why don't you tell me?
Nice whistling.
Yeah, dude, that was epic, actually. Live flat.
Is that it?
Thanks, champ.
Don't change the way that you feel. If it's still real, what's the deal? Say you're in this for love. What's that word you're thinking of? The time's been changing, heart's still racing for you. What to do? The time's been flying, I'm still trying my best. What's the rest? I still think there's something here, but just wait for the moment when you finally make my heart break. She'll be searching for something that we could do, but instead I just lie flat and waiting for you. Tell me things on the daily that I do wrong. On the inside I'm weak, but the outside still strong. She'll be searching for something that we could do, but instead I'll just lie flat and waiting for you. Now you wanna talk? Is this the sign that things are up? Instead, you say you're all in, just like last time, all over again. Things been stagnant, we're just fragments of past incidents. The time starts over, we're still older, I guess. It's just a test. I still think there's something here, but just wait for the moment when you finally make my heart break. You'll be searching for something that we could do, but instead I'll just lie flat and waiting for you. Tell me things on the daily that I do wrong. On the inside I'm weak, but the outside's still strong. Should be searching for something that we could do, but instead I'll just lie flat and waiting for you. Searching for something that we could do, but instead I'll just lie flat and waiting for you. Tell me things on the daily that I do wrong. On the inside I'm weak, but the outside's still strong. You'll be searching for something that we could do, but instead I'll just lie flat and waiting for you.
Yeah. Cool. That was good. It was fun. Sweet. Nice.
Feel good about everything?
I'm fine with it.
I feel pretty good with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
Well, thank you guys for an awesome set. It was awesome. Can't contain the guitar part. Got a
Yeah.
shout out.
Shout
Four
out
was
Four.
awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So Oscar's Cash has absolutely solidified themselves in the Buffalo scene, not only playing with many amazing Buffalo bands, but also touring with groups such as Fury and Few, Your Neighbors, and more. What has it been like playing all these different shows?
We get a lot of those shows from the same guy, from Nick Masita, who works with
yes.
Mosh Retirement and After Dark.
He's from
And-
my hometown.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No way. And Nick's awesome. He's been getting us shows for a while, and like Fury and Few and Boy Junior, who we played with once on the Your Neighbors bill, really cool. And those are artists that he manages, and they're all a little bit different from the stuff that we do. Like Fury and
Right.
Few is awesome, and they're so cool, and they're like hardcore, and we're not really hardcore, so it's tough kind of fitting on stuff like that. But it's always awesome to see like, see what kind of different music you can put on the same night.
Right.
Fury and Few is awesome. They were so fun. It's two guys, and they go crazy.
Yeah, I've heard that.
They're awesome.
I was going to mention that too, like throughout, like even when I mentioned Puddle, but like from your start, I feel like you guys have always had like been fitting into different mixed bills, and that must be really cool to just hear different sounds every night.
It's fun. Sometimes you feel a little weird being like, man, here's this, especially with some of the shows like that. It's like, I really hope they like me because they're here to hear some.
Yeah, I
some
get you.
Yeah, it's
punk.
definitely getting on a hardcore bill is sometimes a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But those are the most fun people at music all the time. The punk scene. So like they always end up liking us enough, and it's kind of we pick and choose. Sometimes we have some songs that we don't do. We're like, oh, this bill is a little bit heavier. Maybe we should bring back this song, or this bill is a little more like the stuff that we do. Let's maybe work in some of these songs. So it's kind of having a pad of a couple extra songs that we can work into different scenes is definitely helps.
Yeah.
And it helps us because we can get on a lot of different stuff and have our hands in a lot of different scenes.
It also bolsters your confidence because you gotta go up there feeling good about yourself to play to like a totally new audience who doesn't know who you are and doesn't want to listen to your type of music. You gotta go up there and give your best stuff.
Yeah.
So there's definitely also a lot of experience from that you gotta just like go with what you got and love what you do.
Yeah.
And then I
Absolutely.
think the best part though is when you can tell like, these people have like a sleeveless vest covered in patches and they start getting into it and dancing, like when you notice that start to take effect, that's definitely the best part.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are there any like bands or people you haven't played with yet that you would like to play with?
We played here a couple of years back with the Burkharts.
They are
yes.
so cool.
Who
Yeah.
Nick also
manages,
Nick
yeah.
manages them, and I think we would do really cool stuff together. I think we would make a good bill together, and they're awesome. They're doing really well right now. They just finished up a tour, I think,
Yep.
and they just do a super cool thing, which
Yeah.
I'm really into their music. I think they would be really fun to play with.
Yeah.
Do like the next Rolling Stones farewell. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Didn't they just get shouted out by Fantano?
Probably,
Anthony
yeah.
Fantano?
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
They got some sort of live
That's
stream. They
awesome.
brought up their music, and I was like, "Whoa,
That's awesome.
I
That's
heard
awesome.
that live."
Yeah.
And is there anyone else that we really want to play with?
I really, honestly, it's hard to think of, especially within our scene. I feel like we get around a lot, and we know
Right.
we start to know a lot of the people. In our scene, I feel like really comfortable and happy with like the connections and like the shows we play. But I don't know, there's like so many like huge artists that you want to like aspire to play for.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
people
Oh,
you
yeah.
listen to all the time. Yeah.
When we got like the show with Your Neighbors, who are from Nashville, and they're so cool. They have like the coolest stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And like our friends, when we posted about it, our friends were like, "Oh my god, I love them!" And that was really cool.
Yeah.
When like your
Yeah.
friends know the band that you're playing with, and they were awesome. They were really cool.
Yeah.
So that's something that's really like fun and satisfying, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any venues that you haven't played at yet that you want to play at?
Ballroom.
Yeah, I was gonna
Oh
say.
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
My girlfriend Sarah, her brother just played Town Ballroom. His band Deluxe opened for the Chameleons
Oh,
recently.
Got
yeah.
you. Yeah.
That was something like that would be sick. You know what I mean? Like that place is awesome. I've actually never seen a concert there, which is crazy.
Honestly,
Really?
me either.
I saw. I went to the election night for the Democrats, and I saw
All right.
and I saw Joe Pera there. So I've been there twice, and I also had a varsity soccer, like end of year party there. So I've been there 3
Oh, like
times.
banquet?
Yeah, I've been
The
there
most random thing possible.
3 times. I've never seen a show there.
Yeah.
Wow.
So maybe I'll play there before I see something there. I
Saw
don't know.
real,
Yeah.
saw real big fish there twice.
Yes.
Yeah, ballroom is definitely something that would be awesome to play because I grew up just seeing stuff there, and same with Mohawk. So playing there the first
Right.
time was totally surreal. It's like I
Right.
used to go to shows there all the time growing up, and ballroom would be mind blowing if we could get something there.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I might want to add? I wish we got a chance to play at the waiting room, bro.
Yeah,
This was a place that closed down.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a couple
Cool
years
place.
back. Really sweet place.
waiting room is awesome.
The pup show there was awesome.
Yeah, that was a really cool space that also unfortunately closed.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that's been a trend recently. That's so
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah.
Stamps too.
Yeah,
Didn't that
yeah,
just
yeah.
close?
Yeah.
Stamps recently.
Wait,
Did
Stamps
they really actually?
closed?
Wait.
Did they?
I did not.
No, I
hear
believe
that.
you. I believe you.
I remember.
I
no,
could
no,
be
no,
wrong. I
No,
could
I
be
didn't
wrong.
hear that.
Okay.
Because I remember
Okay.
they were having like a farewell show or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
sad.
yeah, they had like a bunch of bands.
Yeah.
Didn't they? Prairie Pavement played there.
Yep.
You guys
Yeah.
play with Prairie Pavement too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we're going to turn it to Dylan, who has a question for you guys.
I indeed have a question for you guys. First off, great set. I loved it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just real quick, with you guys' newest release, you kind of released some merch, like alongside of it. What went into thinking like, okay, we want this piece here with this kind of design here? Like, what was the overall, inspiration for said merch?
So my favorite piece out of that merch release that we have on our Instagram right now is it says Oscar's Cash, and it's this bright blue font with like snow on it, kind of, and that was kind of about like Buffalo and like snow and how that's so ingrained into the culture. Of this
Classic.
part of the state,
The
and so
lake
I was like,
effect.
oh, you know what, we're Buffalo. Let's do something that kind of serves that a little bit. And so I have one of those pieces that I really like. The rest of it was just cool little designs that I thought looked cool and I thought people would like. Is nothing too crazy, but it's cool. Like one of them has this whole like Y2K thing going on, kind of, that I really liked. But definitely the Blizzard shirts are my favorite. I really like those, and we're gonna get a big order of those for our next couple shows.
Nice. Yeah, and it's so fun to have them at shows. Yeah.
We need. I'm excited to get shirts to bring to shows. I think it's also cool. In the past, we've done a lot of exclusive per shows, both on purpose and on accident. We very gruelingly. I barely did anything. Like screen printed, like manually, like so many of those. So it's definitely going to be good to like. I like that style, honestly. Like having these like exclusive shirts. Be like, I was at this show, and this is the design they had. And you see like some of the people like show up with that shirt and be like, that was a cool one.
Yeah.
But it would be good to have like that Blizzard shirt. Definitely like keep a solid. That's Oscar's Cash. Iconic shirt. You know what I mean? Something like that.
You start seeing it around.
Right. I
love-
think it'll be good. Well, I think it'll be good not to have to screen print each of them ourselves.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
We would
That's
have-
fair.
Yeah, we would have like 3 box fans going, and they're like laid out across the whole room. We're trying to dry them all off before the show tonight. Like,
I loved hand printing them. The last time I did it in my apartment, I like had a bunch of clothing racks in our living room, and I forgot to tell my roommates, and so they came home. And there's
Yep.
just like 40 shirts hanging up in our living room, and it's definitely a lot of work. I like doing it, but it takes a lot of time to do those.
Yeah.
So outsourcing that's useful
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. And I, of course, wanted to mention this as it is a Fredonia radio show. You guys are playing Rock in the Commons. When this comes out, it'll be the following week. Are you guys excited for that? Excited for the lineup, for the event?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We love any chance we get to play in Fredonia. It's always fun. It's always a blast. People love the music scene here. People always come out and people always get really into it. So it is always a really fun environment, especially like BJs and stuff. And being able to play like a big kind of festival type thing outside, I think is going to be so fun.
You guys did play Rock in the Commons, but it was when it was indoor.
It's inside,
Yep.
wild.
That was my first one, actually.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think that was where we met Dylan Rohr for the
Oh,
first
wow.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it was the first time we were up here, especially with Owen being the only one like based in Fredonia.
Right.
It's good to be able to get out here whenever we can to play, because like the community here really did like you feel something about like everyone knows each other, everyone's together, but it's really, I mean, there's some phenomenal musicians here. Like it is unbelievable So being able to be around the scene and being able to be like so welcomed into it it's a really cool thing. As close as it is to like where we are in Buffalo,
Right.
it's really cool to be able to be over here and, you know, get out as much as we can.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we are at our last question of the night. We talked about a lot throughout this hour, but is there anything else, any other shows, anything else in general that you would like to promote for everyone to hear?
Rockin' the Commons is going to be a huge event that's going to be really fun.
Nice.
If you're in Philadelphia or Burlington this semester,
Yeah, get
keep
ready.
an eye out. Get ready. Yeah, really excited to do some traveling.
We'll be around Buffalo.
Yeah, we'll definitely
as
be
we
around
are.
Buffalo.
We're opening up at Mohawk on, I don't know the exact date, but we're going to be there on the 12th.
Oh, it'll be the day after this comes out, I think.
Okay, so hey,
Yeah.
if you're around, come out. We'll be there. And, you know, keep in touch with us. We're around. We're doing things. We're pretty active. Reach out. We love to hear from people. We're pretty, we like to be interactive with everyone. Who like,
And we finally got some stickers made too.
oh, true, yes.
Yes. Yes.
We got our Old Digs album stickers and sort of our generic Oscars Cash logo
Lips.
sticker.
Yeah.
Lips logo, yeah.
Yes.
You guys will have to come back and stick one in the station.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
definitely. Regretfully,
Absolutely.
forgot them.
Literally, like,
It's okay.
All good. Yeah.
And more music on the way too, right?
Yeah.
Music
Yes.
on the
Yes,
way.
more
We're
music on the way.
Yes.
finishing up the writing for the new EP, and then we're going to record them all. It's going to be
Yeah.
awesome.
yeah.
Well, congratulations on everything that you guys have done throughout this whole year.
Yeah, thank
Super
you.
cool.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you so
much.
much.
Thank you guys so much for coming in.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
guys for
Thanks for
having
having
us.
you
This is
guys.
awesome.
Yes.
And thank you for listening.
Oh, yes. Stole the words right out of my mouth. Thank you for tuning in to the Local Lowdown on WCVF 88.9 The Voice and WDVL 89.5 The Inferno. We'll catch you next week, same time.
Same place.
Bye.